Hello there, friends. Welcome back. And if you're new, welcome to you too. This is going to be a showcase video on this. This is my first attempt at building an elevator from scratch. There's a friend on the server that I play on that is thinking of building a big tower in the next iteration of our server, and asked, hey, can somebody build me an elevator? I was like, sure, why not? I'll give it a try, take a stab at it. And I gotta say, it's a pain in the butt to try and get this thing to work. There's so much circuitry that you had to keep isolated from each other at times, but at the same time, a whole bunch of stuff went into it. Probably took me way longer than than it should have. I am not a master at redstone. I kinda know what these things do. This one cooks things. That's probably about the extent of my knowledge here. But at this point, this elevator works, and what's really cool about it, well, hey, let me show you. So this elevator is a flying machine based elevator. Hop in a little compartment, press the button, and up we go. Now, since it is flying machine, it's not necessarily the fastest, so slowly but surely. Haha! Ooh, what's this? Hey! Oh. Oh, okay. I'll head back down, I guess. But hey, I didn't see what's on the second floor. Let's check and see if it's any better. Ba-loop. Is there anything? Nothing. Now, say you're in your base, you're at the third floor, and at this point, you're fairly rich in your server, and you've got Elytra and stuff, so you just swoop on out. And later on, you come back to your base, and like, oh, I left my elevator at the top floor. I don't want to fly. Flying's for stupid people. I made an elevator. I want to use it. Well, you can actually call it back down to you. That's one of the beauties of this system. From wherever you are, you can call the elevator platform to you. If you're on the third floor and it's down on the first, you can call it. If you're on the second and it's at the third or first, you can call it there. You have complete control over where it goes. You can call it from anywhere to anywhere. But the only downside, if you can call it a downside, I don't really think of it as a downside. Wherever you're at, depending on where you want to go, there's a different sequence of buttons that you have to press. Some of it's fairly easy, going first to third floor, just one quick button press. But if you want to go to the second floor, if you want to stop, that's where things get a little interesting. So to make this elevator stop at the second floor, the mechanic we're using relies on the piston's push-pull limit. This flying machine has a total of 11 blocks that it pushes up. When that block there extends out, this little lip will catch it on its way up, and that's what makes it stop. It puts the load above the push limit and has the flying machine stop. So you can get off, do what you want to do, get back on, and you know what? I'm going to retract this because I'm going to go up to the third floor. There we go. Going up. Continue on to the third floor. Just that easy. Now, the finicky part about this contraption is getting this platform to stop on the way down at the second floor. So I'll show you guys here. Wait till this activator is on. So second floor stop is active. I'm going to go down. I'm going to show you guys what happens here. Because on the way down, in order to get it to stop, the flying machine actually breaks. There's not supposed to be a gap here. So I had to work out some kind of redstone update system to get this to reinitialize itself. And it's this circuitry right here. I kid you not, 10, 15, 20 different iterations of the circuitry just to get this to work. And I don't know how I got it to work, but it does. And that's all that matters. So we go over here, and you have, again, two options. If you want to go down, obviously you need to retract the second floor stop. Wait for that to turn off. There you go. Now, this is for you to go back down, and it's going to hiccup. It's going to act like it wants to go up, and then it goes back down. But if you don't want to go down, if you want to go back up to the third floor, you punch this note block right back in here. Now, in this position, where you've got it at that second floor position where it's slightly broken, to get it back down to the first floor is a little bit finicky. When you have that, you have to put 2 pulses through it. The first one's actually going to send it back up. Then you can retract that block. And then you press that same one again, and it'll send it back down. That is the only exception for not immediate recall to one position. So what all went into making this? What all circuits and everything? Honestly, it looks complicated, but it's not really that much, except for this. And like I said before, I'm not entirely sure how I got this to work, but I believe since the way observers work and detecting block updates, I believe the Can I fly? Can I get back up here? Thank you. This button changes states twice when you press it. Once, twice. I believe the timing is just right to where with a stone button here, the observer detects it and sends itself back down. I believe that's how it works. If anybody knows for sure and can correct me on that, feel free to do it. I want to learn. Like I said before, I am not a master at Redstone. This is me genuinely just really knuckleheading this till I got it to work, and I'm actually fairly proud of it because the only thing I really had to look up was just to verify how to make this little slime block elevator. And again, the finicky thing with this, with getting it up and down between floors, if you want to go up, you have to activate it and update this observer at the bottom. If you want to go down, you have to update that observer there at the top. So on the second floor, it required some ingenuity. Which brings us to this simple little circuit that a lot of you will probably recognize, and if not, it's just a simple double piston extender. And how we use that is over here. It's just sent in to give a block update to the bottom observer when it's at the second floor position. Now, like I said before, when this breaks, it technically has 2 different stops that it makes on the second floor. It'll have one where the platform stops above this block and another where it stops below. So that meant the second floor had to have 4 different inputs to get it to go up and down from the second floor, no matter what position. And that was hard, way harder than it should have been, but it works. So you should be able to see. Let's see here. Call from second floor. Nope. Call from first floor. See that little block pops out? All that does is give an update to that to that observer, and would send it up if it was in the correct position. But you might be asking, why is that even important? Why did you have to use the double piston extender? Well, a lot of you would probably know it, but the reason is if this block was here, when that flying machine passed by, the slime blocks would hook on it and would try and move this. But it can't move any more blocks because when we put one more in front of it, it stops. So it would just break. So you have to have it recessed back here and time it to where it only comes out when it's needed. So that's the entire reason we had to integrate this little circuit into our build. The second floor stop, however, was a lot easier. It's just sticky piston with a block on its face that's sent just into the way of the flying machine. But that meant that if that block had to be extended, retracted, you would need to control that extension from all 3 floors. And that is what this line here is for. You punch any one of these note blocks in the line, it sends the signal down, it comes out the bottom here, goes around and enters this little circuit. And for demonstration purposes, I'm going to come back over here. This is a T flip-flop, which basically means once you change, give it a pulse, or a change in signal, it will result in a signal change coming out the back. And all it does is it has where to go? It has one item that circulates through this. It's a dropper, one dropper facing this way, another dropper facing up, one dropper facing the other way, and the hopper facing down. And any time you give this an update with a signal, it just moves that item around to where this comparator can read it and sends an output. And that is how we controlled with just a few timings coming up here. Torch tower runs into our second floor stop piston. Now, another really cool thing about this design is that the space between floor 1, 2, and 3 is theoretically unlimited. All you'd have to do to extend it to make, say, between first and second floor, 50 block space, between second and third, 70 block space. All you have to do, run the lines up higher, run these lines up higher, and it would still work. Which means really the only limit to this build is bedrock and build height. And maybe your own render distance if you have trouble loading stuff that's far away from you. I don't know how it would work if you called the elevator from bedrock if you're up at build limit. I don't know how that would work, and it would take a long time. But there you have it. It's 3 basic functions and circuits and machines fit into a little itty bitty box. It can be expanded, but it's a working elevator. It goes where you want it to go, and in all honesty, I'm proud of this. This is my first attempt at building an elevator from scratch. I did not follow any tutorials, any guides. I just went to it and knuckleheaded my way through it. I kid you not, 10, 15, 20 iterations of this circuitry right over here. But it's mine. I made it. I did it. I know it works. Insert meme, the otter holding up its baby. I made this. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video. I do a tutorial on it, but that would take a while. If you really want me to, let me know down below, and I will consider it, depending on the kind of reception it gets. But eventually, maybe I'll be building this on the next server we're in anyway, and you can look at it for yourself. So anyway, I'm Ego. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.